Hello again, YouTube. Desu Engineering here, and today I have the newest version of the Arduino smartwatch. This is probably going to be the final version of it. So, on this new version, I have a bit different of a lithium battery. Before I was running off a 7-volt lithium battery, and this time I was able to switch to a 3.7 due to the new OLED screen that I'm using. This OLED screen uses a lot less power than the bigger LCD did. It's also a lot smaller though. So, over here, there's also a speaker. It's kind of hard to see right now because my room has crappy lighting, but it is pretty, well, not loud, but it has good sound on it. Over here, there are two ports. As soon as this focuses, you'll see that the port on the left is the Arduino Nano's port, and the port on the right is a charging circuit which I have connected up to the battery. This time I actually learned how to use the wiring on these charging circuits, so I have it wired from the battery to the charging circuit to the Arduino, rather than being in the Arduino and the charging circuit in parallel with the battery. Up around here you can see there is three buttons. The button on top is a manual screen reset, which I will show you why that is needed later. And then down here is the left one is the back button, and the right button is the select button, along with the potentiometer right here sticking out the top. Give me a second to take it off so I can show you the software. On the software sides of things, you control a bit differently compared to the old version. The old version used the potentiometer to scroll through the menus. This time, use the potentiometer to scroll through a listing of the menus, and then you press the select button to select a menu. The first menu being the hour, which you press, and then you can press it again to change the hour, but I have it set to the correct time right now, and I don't want to set it. And then over here is the minute, which you can again click, and then you can click again to change the minute. And then over here is the game. I'll go back to that later. And then we have screen. You can click screen, turns off the screen, then you press back, and it turns it back on. Then we have one of the two applications that currently use a speaker. Now, what you do with this one, piano, is you can scroll it through the scale, and then you press, and it'll play on the scale. Yes, here is a good example of why you need the reset button. So, as you can see, the screen has been disconnected. So, what you do is you scroll over to the far right on the home menu by pressing this button. So, even though you can't see it, you can tell you're on the home menu. And then you scroll over, and you'll hear it makes a sound when you scroll over to the far right. Then, what you do is you press this button, and then you press back, select, and that'll reset the screen. Okay, now if I go back to piano, and you can go through the different scales. Sadly, it isn't sine waves, it's only square waves. Okay then, I'll go back a bit. The next thing I'll show you is screen invert. To invert the screen, you go into this, and everything that is black is now white, and everything that is white is now black. This is great for things like the game, which I'm about to show you, after I change it back to normal mode. Another thing, when you change it to normal mode, screen cuts out. So scroll over to the far right, reset, and good to go. So, the game. Of course, Pong. This time, I have more smooth movement compared to the old one. You can see the Pong ball is moving a lot like, well, a regular ball would in Pong. It's moving a little bit by a little bit. Compared to the other one, just jumped around because that was the only thing possible in an OLED. I mean, not an OLED, an LCD. So, game over. My score was 10. My highest score is 49. It's hard to get up to there because the ball gets faster every time you hit it. And so, besides that, so when you invert it, you can go back to game, and it's a bit easier to see the ball and where it's going to go. Then let it hit the ground, and I'll change it back to normal, and it'll cut off, scroll over to the right, press that button, press that button, press that button, good to go. So, it has some problems, just as the old one did, but it's definitely a lot better. A lot more, well, a bit more features, a lot better, smoother UI, and a lot more comfortable with the strap because I added these little pads. So, that's all for the newest smartwatch. I cut out the Bluetooth idea because the adapter that I got, this adapter, it doesn't have any room to go anywhere on the inside. So I'm just going to leave that out for now. So stay tuned, I'll come out with some more projects coming soon. I've got some really great ideas. And as always, this is Deso Engineering, signing out. Here's a quick few side notes. I'm going to be adding in the Bluetooth module again. I'm also going to be adding a new heating system. And I'm probably going to be fixing a lot of the major bugs that were in the old version when I build it again. And here's why I'm building it. Bye, future me in just a few seconds, and go! So Engineer here with a little side note. I figured out that the smartwatch is also not waterproof. And now I have to replace the processor. Because now every time it tries to connect to the screen, it completely freezes. So, I'm going to try to get that done. And Deso Engineering signing out. This time for good.